I guess this is our official 1 year anniversary show. We started this gig on August 6th. We talked about it a little bit with John and Neilden last week about how we've been doing this for a year. The initial plan was to have Shane be a part of this group, but he started a new job and a new career and became a big time union guy and just didn't have time for his old friends. But we got him in this week because we want to talk about some stuff that he is definitely a subject matter expert of. Welcome in, Shane. Appreciate you coming on the show with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's definitely been super busy between both race cars, work, and everything, and I'm glad I was able to get to do this.
So this is a show we kind of been putting off for a while, but it's come to the point where it needs to be discussed. Sprint car drivers are getting hurt. Let's go down the list. Brian Brown got hurt. Sunshine got hurt. Justin Sanders got hurt. I'm missing probably 3 or 4 guys without even thinking about it. Um,
2 years ago, Shane got
Aaron
hurt.
Reitzel.
yeah.
Yep.
And Shane knows a thing or two about getting hurt in a sprint car. He is the current altitude record holder at Perris Auto Speedway. He sent his car down the back stretch off of another driver's front wheel, which should remain nameless, and flipped that bitch up over the billboards on the back stretch and came down on the frame rails and broke his fucking back.
Yeah, I went that high and stayed straight because if I don't know if you guys have been to Paris or anyone watching me in the Paris, but on the backside of where I flipped, it's about another from the track surface, another 30 to 40 feet down into there's just what was a little river running through. So I'm glad I didn't get sideways in the air and go that way. But yeah, no, that definitely it's not a record I'd love, but I guess it's something that I can carry with me until someone else tries. I hope no one does, but I guess I'll carry that one as long as I can.
You had a good view of that creek bed over the top of the billboards, did you?
I did a couple races later when I came back. When I was that high, I was conscious at that point. Yeah, it's one of those things that, and when I'm next to a car coming out of the corner and I'm on the inside or the out, it kind of goes through my head for a split second. But it's one of those things where you can't really hold on to that type of mentality for a while because it's all got to be short term. Because if you just hold on to that, then it drive and the way you race. And I feel, unfortunately, that it has played a minor part in some of my results or the way the races play out. Just because, like, I would love to do it for the rest of my life, but it doesn't have a good retirement plan, so I can't really lay it all on the line like I had that mentality before. The whole age comes with cage type thing mentality kind of came a little bit sooner in my career than I would like it to, but we're still winning races, cars, and having fun and spending the same amount of money. Unfortunately, but you know what? It's all for racing, and I feel it's not getting any cheaper. But you know what? I guess more to pay for some more stuff.
So I know you've busted your ass a couple times since then in the sprint car, and fortunately not gotten as seriously injured as you did in that particular wreck. So it's kind of an occupational hazard. If you're in a sprint car, you're gonna get upside down. There's just no two ways about it.
Yeah, exactly. It's you tell anybody, hey, they ask you, what do you race? I race sprint cars. And I go, are those that you see on TV like, flipping all the time? It's just like, yeah. Unfortunately, you don't I'm like, those are the ones that go really fast and go flip real hard. It's along the lines of the safety, like how I talked about earlier, is I don't think that the cars have gotten, I think that the speeds have picked up so much that the I mean, Eldora at Knox, I saw it. Well, you think Eldora and Knoxville are the two biggest tracks that a lot of people got hurt at, and you think those are probably the two fastest tracks people go to. And myself at Paris, I mean, Paris is one of the fastest tracks we race at. California at the end of the month, but yeah, I think if mine was maybe preventable, if I it wasn't really well known then was the Chasm seat mount system, which is like a suspension system to where like the seat compresses onto basically on those pucks, which is connected to the frame to kind of reduce the shock that goes through my body, because that was the only reason why I broke my back, was because you laying on the frames, there's nowhere for that force to go other than throughout your body. So it's one of those things that now in the sprint car, for sure, I will never race a car that doesn't have it.
Yeah, and there's a couple different systems. I think Chasm was the first, and there's I forget what they call their system, but we had them on the podcast a while back, and they had a system too. As much as it pains me to do this, I'm going to have to agree with a YouTuber that I can't fucking stand. He has hot takes on shit, but he is basically saying that it's time to change the chassis. It's time to put more room for the driver. His number he puts out there is 4 inches. Would 4 inches make a difference in a chassis to help driver safety? I know one of the big things that's injuring drivers is coming down on the frame rails, and basically when the driver's momentum, power, weight, whatever comes down on the seat, it's basically coming down right on top of the rear end housing. Sometimes rear end housings are even going up through the seat and damaging the seat, obviously damage the driver in that same thing, and sometimes they're ripping fuel cells open. You get a big fire in the situation. I know that you and your dad have gas chassis that you're a manufacturer of sprint cars, and that's the chassis you run. Put your manufacturer hat on now instead of your driver hat. How do you feel about that idea? Do you think it's time to change, to get 4 more inches in the driver's cockpit?
As far as, and I'm not by any means bashing the other chassis manufacturers, because we have not been around. Us as chassis manufacturers, the chassis has been around a while, but my dad and I, being the manufacturers, not be like, oh, we're better than this, we're better than that, because we are probably bottom of the pole when it comes to this spec. But I mean, you drive. I mean, all guys, it just depends, I guess. I mean, really, I don't think 4 inches would make a difference, because anybody can sit in my car that, I'm a smaller guy, so I don't think a lot of people can fit in my car. But I don't think that the 4 inches really make a difference, because at the end of the day, when you come onto the frame rails, it's not because of a chassis issue. It's more of a suspension issue, to where like when those things go, you're going so fast, and those cars are only 1,400 pounds, but I mean, you're going between 120, 140 miles an hour in any car. I feel like it's bound to happen. It all depends how. I mean, you can barrel roll down the front straightaway, and you can walk out freaking like that. I mean, Austin Williams hit the Maria this weekend, and that guy climbs out of the car faster than I like to stay in the car. Just I don't know. It all depends on how you flip. You hit the wall head on in a Prius or a freaking 3500, it's gonna mess some stuff up. So I don't think that changing the chassis is gonna do anything. I mean, there's certain things that people add, like the halos off of the race car. I don't race without them, unless it's somebody else's car. I'm not gonna have them add that. But no, I don't race without them. I think that's the major thing that could impact it, because a lot of people want them because chassis doesn't flex, which puts you into the track as much. But I have a car without a halo and with a halo, and I think it changes all that much at the rate of spinning and for what I'm doing. Maybe others is different. I don't know, but ultimately, no, I don't think force in the cockpit going to change anything. As far as go, I mean, they are not the most open cars to sit in, but you have tons of room in there. Like as far as race cars go, I would say they're pretty roomy. I don't, like I said, it doesn't really make that much of a difference.
So your narrow ass has a lot of room.
Yeah. No.
I don't think you could hop in my car and have room as I could, but yeah.
Hey, you'd be surprised, dude. I've lost 50 pounds since you saw me last.
Oh, I've seen the
Uh,
progress. It's awesome.
um, so those that don't know, when he talks about the halo bars, it's the basically anti-intrusion bars that go over the top of the driver. That pretty much came about after the loss of Brian Clausen, because that's what happened to Brian Clausen. Is another car came in through the top of the cage and killed him. So that a lot of sanctioning bodies are demanding those, and I think it's a good idea. If your tuning is, if that eliminates enough chassis flex where it throws off your tuning, get a new tuner.
So I got a question
Yeah.
for you, Shane. Real quick. I remember back in the late '70s, early '80s, and I know we're a dirt class, but a dirt show, but long time ago, the asphalt modifieds, they were killing drivers. Drivers would hit the wall or hit something, and the car would be fixable, but they were pulling a dead driver out of the car because it was transferring all the energy to the driver. And what you're explaining in your wreck, it sounds like it transferred, except for the puck system you had in your seat. It sounds like it transferred energy to you. As a chassis builder, and this is basically for people who don't know what goes into building a sprint car chassis, and you being our subject matter expert for that on the show, is there a way that that the chassis builders could build into the cars a way for the car to absorb the energy, more of the energy, so the driver doesn't have to?
To be honest, the only way, like when I think about this stuff, you think about like cars driving like the crumple zone, something like that. You'd have to create
Right.
a crumple zone into the car, and that's the kind of I think that open it up to if you have a crumple zone in a car, like say for instance, I mean sprint cars. I mean that's our topic. It's literally just a motor strapped to a frame, and you're just a jockey behind the straps on that. So if you try and at that point you'd weakening I think you'd be weakening the car with maybe not so thick a tubing in certain areas because in the driver's equipment we do run thicker tubing and that's pretty common if not in all chassis manufacturers to try and prevent that because I guess what would be the crumple zone would be the front of the car, the utmost front. So like that's what I'm saying when you have got the wall and then barrel roll, that's because and then you look at the car and the car is just mangled that dude walking out of there. And then you look at my car, and my car bent the rear frame rail behind it and the front. Those two, I guess, would be crumple zones. You want everything to sandwich into you from front to rear, side to side, or top to bottom. You kind of want that to stay as stiff as possible. And with that, like when I broke my back, I didn't have the chasms chasm system in. Unfortunately, I feel like if I did, that probably would have been avoided or not as traumatic. But like I said, yeah. To answer your question, not really. I don't think there's anything more you could do. Because when you're flipping and you're doing all this and tires blow out and shocks break off, that takes a lot of. If you have tires up and you have shocks connected, that will eliminate a lot of. But at the end of the day, like I said, you're going a buck 20, and not a lot stays on the car.
Right. Right.
Well, and at the time that Shane had that accident, he and I were working together, and I saw him every day. Now, keep in mind, he's a young, skinny, healthy, strong at that time. What 19-year-old, right? 19 or 20.
Yeah, 20.
And I saw firsthand the pain that Shane went through, on a daily basis. And the recovery. I left California, a year and a half ago, and Shane was at that point was still recovering from that accident.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely feel feeling a lot older than I am. So, unfortunately,
But I mean, on the flip side, like Brian Brown's accident, where he basically cartwheeled and broke his left hand and his right wrist, I don't think there's anything you can do to prevent that. He had arm restraints. I think it just, you get a violent crash and, things are going to hit stuff inside the car or even outside the car. and I don't think that's a fatal flaw in the chassis design or sprint cars in general. I think that was just a nasty crash, and that's what happens. Is there's little tiny bones in your hands and your wrist, and stuff happens.
Well, look at the
Well,
Shane
and
Friesen wreck.
The
Or
Stuart
the
Friesen?
Stuart Friesen. Sorry, Shane.
Yeah.
Stuart Friesen wreck. I mean, I saw that wreck. He caught the wall, and the greenhouse got cleaned out by another car coming through while he was upside down. Which, as the Brian Clausen accident that killed Brian Clausen and everything is, we all know that the worst position you can be in with a car coming at you at speed is on your lid. That's the worst spot to be in because that puts your head at bumper height.
Yeah.
To go back to the Brian Brown accident, like Shane talked about, you look at that car and that whole car chassis front end of it's just torn, bars are ripped, it's twisted, all that kind of stuff, and he walks out of it with a broken hand and wrist. I mean, none of us were in the car with him when he wrecked, but that his broken hand and wrist could have come from him holding the steering wheel when the car made impact with the wall.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, it's time for a bidet for Brian Brown.
Or a very understanding
Yeah,
significant
very
other.
I mean, my car, like I've had two Paris. One first one I had was a car slowed down a lot more than I thought he was going into the corner, and I went for a ride, and that car was mangled, like it tore me thing. And I just got out, and we put it back together as best we could to get it into the trailer. I walked away, and you'd look at that car, and you're like, I don't understand. Like I looked at it the next day, I don't even understand like how that's even possible. And then, like I said, the flip that I broke my back, the car was like it was fit. That's my car now. I still have that car. We took the tubes out that were bent and broke, and we fixed them. It's now my spare car sitting ready to go whenever I need it. Hopefully, I won't need those things that a lot of people have and don't wish they have to get to use. I'm fortunate I haven't got to use it, but we'll see.
I think what we're talking about mostly with the sprint cars is those land on all four wheels, right side up crashes where, like we say, all that force is transmitted up through to the driver, to the fuel tank. So, I don't know. I don't race sprint cars. I've never even sat in one, but the crumple zone thing we're talking, I mean, the matter of a couple of inches on the bottom under that driver might be enough to just absorb that and crumple that, make it where it crumples before it goes through the floor, obviously, but just take that little extra bit of energy out might be a start.
Well, that 2 inches could reduce the high G impact of like what Shane went through. I mean, that was a flat pancake. It reduced that G impact. I mean, if it reduced it by 10%, Shane might not have had a broken back.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, and there's the puck mounts like Shane was talking about, and then there's the energy absorbing pad that some drivers run. It sits on the bottom of the seat that serves the same purpose. It's the whole idea is to absorb some of that energy and not transfer it to your spine. Shane, I know when you put the chasm mounts in, your seat had to be moved up, right?
Yeah, we had to raise it. We actually had to take the seat tube out and lower it actually on the chassis, be back to where I was before. Because and I'd say our biggest flaw is we're perfectionists in some ways, and it's always since I've been racing since I was 5. I mean, if he always said if you're not going to go fast, and that's how we've been. So a lot of drivers just just put them on and say okay, but they make it pretty user friendly to where you don't have to do that. But like I said, it's one of those things that we just did because we're like if you're not going to go fast, and it's pretty much true. I mean, it's like I said, I'll miss a race because I'm not comfortable in the race car. It's just one of those things. But about the crumple of the seat tube thing you guys were talking about earlier, is that like in my mind as a sprint car racer and a manufacturer, you don't. And like I said, this is I personally wouldn't want that tube to be that tube your seat on as the crumple. If that happens, I get the thought process behind it. You're basically getting held on by two head behind your in the middle of your back because it's just four bolts to hold the seat in. At least for me, I mean, that's about 99% of how they do it. Um, I mean, it's just feel to me the mindset like that thing's gonna come out from under me if something happens. But it's just things I just don't know how much more in that aspect that we could fix that. It's just one of those things that fortunately enough that we don't a lot. I mean, it has been lately, unfortunately, but that we don't get a lot of those crashes to where people land and all of that because that's what's ultimately going to do it 99% of the time. I mean, you look at Chase Johnson, like he's still messed up like now, and you look at his, and I'm not trying to compare him, like, oh, mine's bigger than his. Like I went a lot higher. And his was exit. We're both pretty much exit the corner. And his more truck, and they have wings on, so they do pick us more. Like I saw that wreck. Like I've watched that video times, and I'm like, I still don't understand that how unfortunately how messed up he got because of that. Um, it's all in the way you land. I mean, the doctor said if he because they watched the video, I showed them the video, and that we showed probably about 30 other nurses and other doctors inside the hospital. They were surprised that I wanted, let alone down there as I work. So, but it's one of those things that if I were to land a freaking quarter inch to the right, quarter inch to the left, hit the back a little bit earlier, the front a little bit sooner, it's just because I mean I've flipped in the lightning sprint in Missouri, uh, same thing, and then I proceeded to flip on my side after that because I got to the car, and then another car hit the top of the halo, and it bent the halo actually into my helmet, cracked my helmet. Thank gosh, because if not, I would for sure. Um, I'll let you know. Flying with a concussion is probably the worst pain and uncomfort that I've ever felt. That is
Ugh.
not. I don't recommend that one to anybody.
No.
Thomas.
So, yeah, Tom. So while we're talking about the puck system, I actually pulled up both. I pulled up the Chasm that Shane has, and I pulled up the monkey bars from its XC gear, just to show people. So here, let me share my screen real quick. So this is the Chasm that Shane has on his sprint car. So is that kind of basically what you got, Shane?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And what's nice about that system is those pucks. It's a really condensed foam, pretty much, and
Mm-hmm.
it's all so not every driver's not gonna have the same one. And they give you you have to change them out to actually a amount of races because they do compress, and you don't feel it while you're racing. Like I've never felt like my seat's jumping up and down and blah blah blah. But where they don't do that, soft enough to where that impact goes through and not got to test them yet, and that I haven't. Um, but it's just one of
Yeah.
those things that I
I hope
feel
you never do.
I feel safe with. Yeah.
Yeah. And then that XC gear, the monkey bars are kind of the same thing. It looks like they've got a little more foam maybe inside and a little extra mounting system, but same basic idea with that foam inside.
Yeah.
I think the monkey bars, the puck or absorbing part was urethane, wasn't it?
Ooh, it might be. Yeah, I think it was. Because they based that off of their, what was it? Their motorcycle ones. Did I
Yeah.
share that screen or not?
No,
Or
you
did
didn't
I
show
just
that
Not the
one.
monkey bars.
Here, let me show that. I was looking at it. It looks real good. There it is. So yeah, that's the monkey bars with that kind of extra on either side of where the puck is in the middle there.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that black portion that's the urethane.
Yeah, right in there. Yeah. Yeah,
Just
and
two different ways to skin a cat.
yep. Yeah, and what I'm thinking, like when I said the crumple zone, Shane, I didn't mean like under your seat.
Oh,
I'm
no.
talking more under, almost like under the chassis, like just under that chassis. So that's the first thing that hits the ground. Then your frame rails hit, hopefully that plus if you have a monkey bar or chasm system on there, it absorbs just that, like Phil said, 5-10% extra. That's the difference
Yeah.
between breaking your back and not.
Well, back to playing devil's advocate. If you, by rule, move the seat up a couple inches, move the floor up a couple inches, move the steering box up a couple inches, from a driver's point of view, other than just sitting a little higher in the car, everything should feel the same. Wrong here?
Well, playing devil's advocate, and Shane would know more about this because he's a sprint car guy. Raising everything up a couple inches also raises your center of gravity, and that changes that might significantly change the handling of the car. Am I right or wrong there, Shane?
I ultimately, yes. At the end of the day, it all depends. Like, I'm by no means a Justin Grant or Brady Bacon or Robert Ballou to where I feel like inches. Will it affect the handle of my race car? No, but will it affect the handle of their race cars? Yeah, I would assume so. Like I said, their level and my level are complete, and I wish, hopefully, one day, if I can. Get to race a lot more. I can be at that level. But at the end of the day, we're all race car drivers, safe. But you know, sometimes safety things kind of slow you down, and people don't really want to go slow. And especially cars, speed is everything. I mean, it's just one of those things. I think a lot of people now. I think now after just this past month of all the crashes and everything should open a lot of people's eyes into uh, investing in some of this stuff and maybe looking back and just checking over the car. Like now, ever since that crash, like I mean, Raz knows. I mean, I'm pretty meticulous about my race car stuff, and it's now even more of a fine tooth comb with just looking over everything. Because I mean, shoot, if you look at a tube and it has a crack in the weld or something like that, and that could be your life, or an injury at the least. At the least, it's one of those things. I feel lately that unfortunately, like I said, I've been getting hurt, and I started having this conversation. I think something we can not really get around in sex, but at the same time, I feel like uh, a lot of people maybe don't run the monkey bars or the pad. The pads, say everybody should. I think everybody should run, but because of like weight at the end of the day, because some of these guys, like you look at their scales and they're like a pound above minimum weight. It's like they don't want to add some of that stuff, and that's another reason they don't add halos and like all that stuff because like they don't want to be heavy because that slows the car down. You can fast race car if you're hurt or dead. So I mean that's my mindset.
Yeah, I mean that
Right.
full traction, halo where they drive pins into your head to keep your neck straight would make it a little hard to get in and out of a race car, I think.
Right.
Yeah,
And
I
if
don't think
it's
the
a
Honda's
rule, then
gonna fit after
everybody's
that.
No.
if it's a rule and everybody has the same quote unquote same rules, then everybody should be racing under the same conditions.
Raise the minimum weight. Find out what the average weight of that halo is, and raise the minimum weight to include it.
There you go.
That brings us to the other aspect of what people are blaming these crashes on, and that's people driving like idiots.
Well, that's a factor.
Well, yeah. And
Yeah, I I've seen a lot of videos and
Quiet
been
all of a
part of
sudden.
a lot of races to where I can tell. I'm not saying that I've never made any mistakes because no one's perfect, and especially in my I'd say lack of experience in certain areas of sprint car racing. Yeah, people lately have been making some pretty silly moves and in races on national level, local level. It's one of those things that I feel that also plays a part because I mean some of these guys are really driving in over their heads, and I try and err on the side of caution in that aspect because I want to spend the money and I know what it's like to spend the money. So I don't really want to put any in that aspect. But Yeah, I do. I'd say it's a 50-50 split of freak accidents and yeah, driving in over your head or doing some stupid moves and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, some of these guys just that's just a race and they their way or no way. So yeah, it's one of those things. I feel like does play a major part.
Well,
And this might be an unpopular opinion here, but a lot of these guys that are getting injured are in winged cars, and what you watch in the winged cars is it can be extremely difficult to pass somebody because of how the air comes across those wings on those cars. So when they get into where a lot of these wrecks are happening, are on starts and restarts, when they're trying to pick up a handful of positions, trying to get a better start than the guy in front of them, and then they end up putting somebody else in a bad spot, like the one with Sunshine. That all started because Buddy Kofoid shot the bottom as fast as he could and wiped the whole field out coming across. It's stuff like that. So is it, yes, lack of talent, but is it also because of the racing?
Valid point.
Go ahead.
It's like every style of racing. You try and get what you can on the start because you never know
Right.
where you can get it back.
Well, a crew chief of mine one time, won't mention any names, but he's the bald guy on this show, told me on restarts, he goes, if you ain't getting 2 spots on a restart, you ain't going fast enough.
I mean, you got to be an asshole to be a driver. That's just all there is to it.
Well, good thing we all fit that.
Yeah.
The reason someone was hearing a thump on my audio is because I was looking for this.
Oh,
Thump, thump, thump.
I
And
figured you
found-
were typing.
I found it.
Oh,
Shane,
there
Shane,
we
you
go.
might want to close your eyes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that is the wreck
Yeah.
we've been talking about. It's vicious. I mean, that's a vicious crash in any series. And that last little one where where it came down right there is probably what did it.
Yeah.
And looking
Yeah, I'd
at
say
that,
right
look
after
at
Nick
all the
Wilson
rest of it looks the
I was
worst.
unconscious. So
It's when you look at that, all the flipping before, when your nose, that last one, when your nose went in and you just come doom, down at that end, that was kind of a nose to tail slap.
yeah, it's one of those things. Like I said, it's just on how you land. I feel like if it went on how it went on its side right there and settled back down, I feel like if it would have kept going on its side, I wouldn't be maybe in the situation. At the end of the day, I don't know what hurt the most in that because, like I said, after the first launch, it knocked me out. I don't know why, but it knocked me out. I mean, it was pretty vicious, so I mean that's fine. But after that, I mean, I was unconscious. I couldn't tell you what. I just know I woke up hurting pretty bad, and those things. It's like as a sprint car driver or a racer in general, like you're known as being a guys that are like, I don't want to go in the ambulance. I don't want to go to the hospital. And I flipped enough times to know, all right, if I can walk away, I might not be as bad off as I thought. And then I'm like, okay. So I already going into the night after we loaded the car, I know it's like, okay, tomorrow I'm gonna hurt even more. I did out in the ambulance, and they said that all my vitals are fine. They don't have X-ray machines in the ambulance. It's just a quick, hey, you're not dead. So congratulations. It's one of those things that come Sunday, I was hurting real bad on Sunday, and I was normally, I didn't get out of bed, left the car in the trailer, did all that, and then later in the day, I figured I needed to get up, move around a little bit, and we did roll the car out, and I wasn't much help at all. It's kind of more spectating at that point. And then Monday came around, and my girlfriend, I was at work. Everybody was at work. I was at home by myself. Took the day off. And then I was like, you know what? It came like probably afternoon time, and I was like, it's not getting better. It's actually getting worse. So I was like, I gotta go to the hospital. So I hobbled me all the way down to Grossmont and did X-rays and did all that. And when they come back with a worried look, you're already like, good. And before I even got the they all stared at me and asked me how I walked in there, and I said, I don't know. My kneecap was in a million pieces because I smacked my knee on the steering box, and we have knee guards. Kind of throwing that, not really throwing the car together, but it was one of those I took out. Could we change steering boxes? And I didn't put in the knee guard. That could have been preventable on my part, and it's one of those things that I rushed and didn't put in. It's 2 bolts, and I didn't do it, and it broke my knee. But yeah, the back too, and they're just like, I don't even know how. I'm like, I couldn't tell you, and it was one of those things that didn't elect to get. Luckily, I maybe I know in the future I'm going to need it. Unfortunately, I did get these cryptoplasty injections, which is like a concrete that holds your back together after all the my vertebrae. I forget numbers about this T354. I don't know, but they were in a couple pieces, and they did that to kind of hold it all together. So it kind of eliminates the rods aspect and all that. And it's one of those things that kind of haunts me to this day every once in a while when I drive past the track or I'm in the track and after qualifying track and in the sprint car at least the light sprint freaking I just in that thing and just goes past that car. I wish the car would go faster, but it doesn't. And, I out of that thing, I'm like Damian Gardner, that guy. I got all the wins in the world in those cars, but the sprint cars, still working my way up to it. And I feel like before the flip, I was at that level of my next level. And then that happened. I kind of dropped back down a little bit, but we're finding speed again in the sprint car. We haven't really been racing it often. The lightning sprint's real fun, and we're having a lot of fun. It's been a while since I've raced and came home with a smile on my face, not because I won or got podiums, or because it's just fun. It's racing. It's not that I don't think racing's fun, but I haven't had a lot of fun in the sprints in a while, just because I'm just a little hard on myself in the way I think, and I'm like, okay, I should have done this, but when you're sitting in the trailer. When you're sitting in the truck driving home and you're doing this, it doesn't change the way you finished. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. It's just, yeah. I don't know.
Well, yeah. I personally think you're a very talented race car driver, and I think you got a lot of talent in a full-size sprint car, and I hope you continue to do it.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I plan on it. It's just work schedule, and we're kind of going unfortunately, I loaned my car out to a guy in the lighting sprint, who one of my sponsors, and shifting the second gear occurred to him going down the back straightaway at Imperial.
Shane's in the infield yelling, "Shift, shift, shift!"
Yeah. Well, it was a Friday. They had the Friday race, and I was working, and I go, and he couldn't. There's a couple of things that I couldn't get done because he wasn't there, like fitting him in. So he had kind of rushed it, and he's like, "I'm not gonna race the car Friday. I don't want to rush it." And I was like, "Okay, but one less day on the track." I said, "I'm perfectly fine with that." And then next day comes around, and he got it. He woke up early, got everything done, and I was in class up in Whittier, and Raina was with me, and I had her drive back so I can watch the race as we're going, and I don't know what was going on a little bit. So they didn't start the show. It started hot laps right when I just got in El Centro, and I was watching on flow, and I was going, and then I'm like, we got to the track, so I put my phone down, and I got my wristband, and then all of a sudden my car getting pushed in by a push truck, and they didn't see me, and I heard blow it up, and I instantly turned around and walked back to the car and sat down a second and was like, I'm going to let them figure it out before I go over there. And unfortunately, there was a hole probably about half my fifth thing, and I kind of asked them. I was like, I didn't see it happen on float. I just put my phone down. I would have stayed in the car maybe another seconds. I would have saw it, and I didn't see it, luckily. I still haven't watched it because I don't want to watch it, anything except my freaking the way I felt about the incident. But no, it's no hard feelings on that. We worked out a deal, and we got a rocket ship now. We're pretty hard to beat right now. I feel a lot of our results have shown that. The 2-day show, we did really good in the heat race. I mean, we won. I was freaking middle back straightaway. I was freaking gone. And then did the dash, got second, and then the main event. And that car, for some reason, that car, older Bishop chassis, which no one has. It's a car from Colorado, and they run a lot of dry slick tracks up there. And Verona just so happens to be a pretty dry slick track about 90% of the time, especially this time of year. Unfortunately, it's no one's fault, but Mother Nature. It's just hot, and you can't keep up a track surface with that kind of weather, no matter who it is upkeeping the track. But yeah, it rubbered down, and I thought we were going to be really good, and we got in the first corner, and I started like fifth or sixth or something because they picked. Yeah, I started fifth. And I was on the bottom. The car was really good, and the guy, his name's Jair, he won the Saturday night show. All of us on the top, and I was like, where the hell did that even come from? And I immediately assumed there was rubber up there. I went to go try it, and the way my car set up was way tight, and I wish I could have I wish there was a yellow, so I could have kicked the thing off the top and freaking just left the middle straight away and just race without it, because I was, a turn better than I was. I dropped back to ninth. I put the gold wing motor in that thing and put it in reverse after the first green. So after that, and come Saturday, same track, changed what my mentality was. The setup on the car, coming in the main, first time in my career I've loosened a car going into the main because already rubber on the track. We were lucky enough to get third and just missed third in points for the overall on the weekend to get a little bit extra cash. But you know what? We rolled the car in the trailer both nights and like ultimately have fun. Like ninth place, after starting the tour hunt and got ninth. I mean, I was still happy. Drank a little bit more beer after the races because of that. But I mean, you know what? It's just part of it.
Yeah, I watched your heat race on Friday from the flag stand, and you were 3 laps straight away, 3 more laps, half a track. Jesus, Shane.
Yeah, yeah. That thing was, sometimes, like, you watch the video because my girlfriend Raina takes videos of every single race, and she hates it because she can't watch it. She's just sitting there with the phone in her hand. But as soon as I got the track, let me watch the video. And I watched the video, and, like, you hear my car, just like, I'm basically, like, it sound like I was in fourth gear, like, just putting around the train. And I feel like racing the 410 and then getting taught me a lot about, man throttle control. And like, you hear these guys just blitzing tires on the straightaway and all this. It's just like, that's not fast. Like, if you're spinning tires, it's because you're on top of the track. And if you're not in the train, like, you're not getting traction, you're not going forward. You're just wasting your tire at that point. And it's getting to that point where I'm like, a lot of people come up to me, car's handling really good. It's like, I'm better than what I am, but a lot of it has to do, I feel like, with my driving compared to others, where making certain moves, I'm like, this is not what we do in the 410s. And all of the drivers that race with us in the SoCal series, all talent. I feel 10 of us race consistently, and we just had a great showing at this last race. And I feel any one of us could night, and it's awesome because some series and some clubs, there's like 3 or 4 guys that are fast, and then the rest are kind of, lack of better words, field fillers, kind of. But I feel like with our club, everyone's fast. Like, we have I think, any repeat winners. I don't think, myself included. Unfortunately, I wish I was a repeat winner, but next weekend's wingless, so we're pretty stoked for that. But I just feel like it's a diverse group to where, like, anybody, and I just feel that maybe my car, the way I have it set up, I don't think motor package. I mean, yeah, we have a pretty good motor in it, but I feel a lot of some of those, a solid 4 or 5 of them just have just as good as one as I do. It just all comes down to how you drive the car. I've raced at Verona all my life since racing, so I know the place like the hand, and I can drive with my eyes closed. But then, it's one of those things that I enjoy and have fun against, younger kids that are getting faster. I mean, Kelly Weitzel, she's the only girl in the field, and the race that I won in the heat race, I couldn't get past because she was in my way, but because she was just that much fast enough to where I could get around her cleanly, so I waited to an opportunity, and unfortunately for her on the last lap, she did slip up a little bit. I was right there. I was right on the whole time. But just, yeah, those things that people just don't understand, that, like, can play, like, when you're racing second place better than first place because first place you can't see behind you. It's like she didn't know I was right behind her. I mean, those cars are so loud, especially literally right in my face. But those cars are so loud. Half the time you can't even hear the car behind you because your car is so loud. So it's just one of those things that people. I feel that this coming up, some of these younger guys coming up, just a little bit more time under their belt, and they can get to that point. And like I said, I'm not trying to sound like I'm Damian Gardner like that of Lightning Sprints because I people better than me, that's for sure. That comes to just any. I'm looking forward to the rest of the season, and yeah, it's one of those things I enjoy.
Yeah, that's something that I learned with going from the modified is that traction and keeping your feet easy on the pedals and keeping the tires into the track and not on top of it. And it definitely took a lot of time to figure that out because I mean that sport one doesn't have a ton of power, but it's got enough in articulation that you get on it a little too hard and now your whole corner's going.
I just find some irony in a 22-year-old kid. By the way, happy birthday! Talking
Yeah,
about
thank you.
these kids coming into racing.
It's right.
Yeah. They're
Yeah,
young.
I
I mean,
know
I think Kelly just is in high school or just started high school, and Tyler's not far behind her.
So I know you need to get out of here, Shane. We appreciate you coming on. You just do us a favor, leave the app open so it'll upload your video and audio to us, and then we'll get the edit done and get this thing put out. And again, thanks for taking time to put us on. You're welcome to come on here anytime.
Yeah, no problem.
You don't always have to be the.
I appreciate.
Don't always have to be
Hopefully,
the focus.
yeah. Hopefully in the future, soon. I gotta look at some stuff. Yeah, softball is another thing we play. Like that's where I gotta go tonight is play softball at Santee. We have our record's pretty good. I think we're 0-16. So yeah,
Nice.
I'm looking forward to it. Some nights we have a 9:50 game. I'm like, why the hell am I even doing this? I wake up at 2:30 and then, but it's fun. It's different than just race cars. It's you gotta have fun.
Well, you got to keep that streak alive too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
All right, thanks again, Shane. I guess
Thank you.
the thing to talk about now is silly season, man. Some seats are moving around. I think the big surprise for at least for me was Hunter Schoenberg and Vermeer Motorsports made the announcement that they got a new crew chief, Ty Wolfgang. If you're not paying attention, Ty Wolfgang came over from Casey Kane Racing, and that's a big deal. That's a big move. It makes me question if they knew something was up because was it 3 weeks ago they announced that Clinton Boyles was out as crew chief for Hunter on that team, and then you see Ty coming in. A little inside baseball because I've had Hunter Schoenberg as a driver that I've helped out. Clinton Boyles is his brother-in-law, so they have a relationship outside of racing, obviously. And so for him to no longer be the crew chief on that team was kind of a big deal. But I think bringing Ty in, it shows a commitment. They want to be a player in World Outlaws, I think.
That move with Casey Kane and Ty Wolfgang was kind of came out of left field as well. I mean, they raced the 360 Nationals. Brad Sweet didn't make qualifying. He got disqualified for, I think it was too light or something like that. And they packed up their stuff and said, we're done. And then didn't fire the 49 crew, but relieved the 49 crew and stuck the 9 crew in there and kind of left the 49 guys in limbo. And then that's when Ty left. He said, well, if I'm not going to do nothing, I'm not sticking around.
And then the other announcement with the driver change this past weekend, I'm drawing a blank on the driver's name, was a big deal. Jason Myers Racing going down to one car, and I guess I'm going to have to look this up.
Yeah, was that Spencer Baston?
Spencer Baston, that's right. Thank you,
That's
John. Spencer Baston out of that ride. And I guess a bunch of people saw it coming. There was rumblings that was happening before it happened. And then just this past week, someone noticed that all the at the merch trailer for Jason Myers, all the Spencer Basin stuff was like half off, and they were putting motors up for sale, which what a lot of people don't realize in sprint car racing is a lot of times the motor purchase is part of a driver coming aboard. They'll bring a motor with them, and so selling off motors might be a way of paying him. Hey, this is the motor you brought, and here's your money back, kind of deal. I don't know. That's just speculation on my part. I'm real good at speculating on crap I don't know anything about.
Yeah, definitely a lot of shakeups. Neil and I talked a little about the Casey Kane and Brad Sweet's crew, and if he didn't make it to qualifying in that 360, I mean, who knows? You gotta have results to keep your job when you're that high up.
Yeah, I mean it's a results-driven business for sure. There's no better meritocracy than racing. If you're not getting it done, they'll find somebody who will.
Mm-hmm.
You stopped recording.
It stopped recording.
Again, we're not professionals. So
We clearly don't know what the hell we're doing.
It's fine. The edit will be seamless, I'm sure.
yeah, that was me basically trying to remove Shane's screen from the session and ended up stopping our recording. Fortunately, you guys caught it.
I'm still uploading the video. The sound is there. The video is still uploading.
So, any other moves anybody knows anything about? I've researched this really well.
Yeah, you guys want to touch on the little drama between Bobby Pierce and Jonathan Davenport at the North-South 100?
I came this close to going to that race.
You should have gone, buddy.
I literally drove past that track, and I'm looking at my watch going, hot lap started an hour ago. By the time I get back to the track and get in, heat races will be started. And I went, screw it. I didn't go. I have a take on this. If you guys want to hear my hot take.
Go ahead.
Davenport was mad at Bobby Pierce for what he felt was a dirty slider. I think it was a little bit dirty. It wasn't the worst one I've ever seen. It wasn't the worst one I've ever seen Bobby Pierce do. It wasn't even the worst one I've ever seen Bobby Pierce do on Jonathan Davenport. But it was a little shady. And then Davenport said that, I just went up there and, hit him a couple times, just let him know that, I could have wrecked him if I wanted to. And I'm telling you, I watched that replay, and Jonathan Davenport tried to wreck Bobby Pierce and missed. He is a liar. He tried to right hook him into the wall.
Okay. I don't agree, but okay.
Well, that's what we're here for. That's my hot take. What don't you agree with?
I think Jonathan Davenport intentionally didn't wreck him because that is a really, really big black eye and bad look on him if he does. Despite what everybody's feelings are on Bobby Pierce. I mean, if you guys listen in the post-race interview, there was one guy in the background that said, "Whoop his ass!" And then Jonathan Davenport, I probably should. But then left
Kentucky.
it alone at
Yeah.
that.
He had Pierce 30 degrees away from parallel on that track, and if that's not trying to wreck somebody, I don't know what is. And it just missed. He didn't wreck him. He tried, I thought. I could look for that video and pull it up, but it would take me a minute.
I got you, buddy. Ready?
Yep. Lay it on
Send
us.
it.
Okay. Share this one. Click it. Share it. All right, you guys got it?
Yeah.
I know he was mad, but
So this is where he slides him.
I said it's a little shitty.
Yeah, and this is there's interviews and stuff in here too. They're booing him, telling him, you're number one, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Bobby Pierce did get quite a few boos in that interview.
Yeah,
And then they interviewed Davenport. And
yeah. There's the
Davenport,
Davenport.
he didn't have anything good to say about it for sure.
No, I'm trying to. Here we go. Right there. I'll
All
play
right,
it again
wind
for
that
you.
back.
Yep.
I stand by what I said. He tried to wreck him and missed.
And then I think it goes the other way right here almost. No, this is the slider. But I did not get to watch that race live because I was at a wedding and also trying to watch the Knoxville Nationals. But I went back yesterday and rewatched the whole race on Flow. And there's a solid 7 laps of those dudes back and forth every lap, swapping the lead. A lot of really good racing. I think that aggression elbows up. That's full fenders cars. That's what they do. You can't do that in a sprint car. But I think it's what it is. I feel bad for Jonathan Davenport, but I mean, I don't like Bobby Pierce either. But you can't take it away from Bobby. Is just one bad ass fast dude in a late model.
Yeah, but that's how he races. This is not the first time we've called him out for a dirty slider. It probably won't be the last. He's an aggressive driver who will throw a fender out there or throw a bumper out there if he thinks that's what he needs to do to win that race.
But then once he does it, he drives away from you. It's not like he's getting to you and wrecking you and winning the race. He's getting to you, getting side on you, and then he's driving away from you.
Yeah, which from my point of view in the cockpit, that just has me chewing on the steering wheel trying to catch up to him so I can get my payback.
Yeah. Yep. And then do we want to touch on the article that I shared with you guys prior to this?
Oh, I was going to stick with the North-South 100 and try and figure out how you can get a public intox first and second offense in one night.
Okay, I have some insight on that.
Oh,
Yep,
do
go
you
ahead.
now? There you go.
Go ahead.
So their MO when they do that is they charge you 1 and 2 anytime. Anytime you get a public intox, you get 2 counts. Kyle Strickler's version, I'm sure we're never going to hear the cops' version, but Kyle Strickler's version was this was after the race. Yes, he was pretty drunk. A fight broke out, and he was in there trying to break it up. And the cop said, "Who are you? Are you a driver?" And he says, "Why? Do you want an autograph?" To which the cop said, "Put your hands behind your back."
Right.
Sure, I'll take an autograph.
So he says, "So I got a public intox for being a smartass. That's on me. Bad move." It makes sense the way he says it. It's not like it comes across as not ringing true. I don't know exactly where it happened. It sounds like it happened at the track.
Yeah.
Which, if it happened at the track after the races, I think it's bullshit. You hit somebody with a public intoxication for that. I mean, who the hell's he hurting? He's not driving anywhere. His motorhome's right there. He's going to go get in and go to sleep and to get up to race the next day.
No, he's not. He went to jail.
Yeah, no, that's. Yeah, he said he spent about 8 hours in jail, and bonded
Hot laps
out.
are at 6. See you tomorrow.
Yeah, hot laps are 6. See you tomorrow.
Get the car ready.
He said a T-shirt design is incoming.
Good. Good.
All right. So be on the lookout for that.
But if
Bolo.
your jailhouse name is Highside Tickler, it hits way different than it does on a dirt track.
Right?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
Dirty slider is a definite different meaning in jail.
Lordy.
What? What's the matter, John?
Nothing.
You almost got me to the microwave, but not that. I got more fortitude than Thomas.
Fortitude, huh?
Fortitude. Okay, were we talking about something Thomas wanted to bring up?
It depends. Do you guys want to talk about it?
I mean, heck, why not?
Well, it's
All right.
cheaper than counseling.
Okay.
True.
There you go.
What are we talking about?
All right. So, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 weeks back, whatever it's been, we talked about a certain manufacturer
Oh, yeah.
choosing to.
BMF.
I was getting, BMF choosing to stop any kind of chassis support to people who would not buy parts directly from them and would buy parts from somewhere else, whether they were cheaper or what have you. Since that post, they shared this one right here. Well, sure didn't have this one on the bingo card. Corey Hedgecock, BMF chassis, is going to be wheeling a Longhorn chassis, and that's a twist I didn't see coming, especially after he released a statement just a month ago about BMF chassis-sensitive parts weren't purchased directly through them. Customers would be 100% forfeiting help and support. Very interesting develop, and definitely one of those moments that makes you go, So, John, what is your thoughts on that?
What are my thoughts on that? My thoughts on
Yep.
that is he is closing up his chassis building business because ain't nobody buying a chassis that he's not racing if he's building them. If you're gonna build them, you race your chassis.
Right. Yeah. If your chassis is not good enough for you, why would I buy it?
Right.
And the other thing too is if you're not driving it, then who's doing your R&D and working on future improvements? Is that going to be a house driver? And how much support are you going to get if you're not there? If you're driving somebody else's stuff? So I think that's the demise. You can go ahead and write the obituary for BMF chassis right there.
Next press release, BMF chassis out of business.
Well,
Theoretically,
so
allegedly, I'm thinking.
So here's a couple of different outlooks on this. Longhorn has recently purchased a chassis manufacturer. Could they be looking at purchasing his and absorbing his chassis and his customers? Or is this like one of those XR 1.3, XR2 deals where he runs a Longhorn for a couple of seasons and comes back and improves the BMF chassis?
It'd make him a piece of crap if he did.
Well, is that a potential of what's going on?
I don't think BMF chassis big enough on the radar for Longhorn to be purchasing them or merging with them or absorbing with them. He's a pretty small chassis manufacturer in the grand scheme of things. But Corey Hedgecock driving a Longhorn, like I said, to me that's the end of BMF right there.
Yeah, and along those lines, if you're a smaller chassis builder like Raz mentioned, and you have a big name like Longhorn wanting to absorb you, or then you mention that, you say, hey, they bought us out. This is great. They love our chassis stuff too. I'm gonna run their stuff. You don't just switch.
Yeah.
As the dirt world turns.
And then I don't think we can go without mentioning the loss of Ronnie Brewer at Bowman Gray. By all accounts, he had a massive heart attack in the car and then crashed it. The crash was nasty on its own. Mm-hmm. He drove just more or less head on into turn 4 wall.
Yeah.
But he did not survive that crash, no matter how it happened. So our thoughts and prayers go out to his family and friends. It's out there if you want to look for it. You can find that crash pretty easily.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that.
No. Also, safety tip: do not stand on the side of your race car when you win.
Yeah, Zilich found out about that. Broke his collarbone and dinged his grape, didn't he?
I think he got a concussion out of it and
Yeah.
a broken collarbone. When I first watched that video, I thought for sure he snapped that ankle.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Got caught.
I thought
in his,
knee.
Yeah, it got caught in his headrest on his seat, and I don't know how he escaped without that.
When I
Also-
watched that, when I saw him go down on his head, the first thing I thought of was coming out. It was beans and franks, beans and franks. He was out, dude. He was laying there like. Ugh.
Yeah, yeah. He was done.
And from somebody who's been in that situation, I can say that it's not a good spot to be.
He's 19. He bounces.
Yeah.
And he didn't bounce on that one.
I think the biggest flex on that was SVG getting out yesterday after his win and just putting his foot on the ground before he took his second leg out of the car.
Well, SVG's kind of a tall dude, so
Yes, yeah. Anyways,
and that was a boring ass race to watch.
I didn't even watch it.
Yeah, SVG stunk up the show.
11 seconds.
Yeah,
Damn.
11 second lead over second place.
I caught about 20 laps of it as Heather and I were sitting at Applebee's having dinner. And I looked up and I went, "Oh, wow, a NASCAR race," and went back to eating.
Yeah.
My mother-in-law came out and asked me, where'd Kyle Larson finish? I said, dead last. She goes, why? I said, well, it turns out brakes are important on a road course.
Yeah. Stopping and slowing down is something to be said.
A little bit.
All right, with that, I think we'll bring it to a close. John, you want to hit our socials?
Dirty Sliders on Facebook, at Dirty Sliders on Instagram, Dirty.Sliders on X. We did have a comment on our video for Neil and I last week, so Rick, DM our page and you're going to get your free t-shirt. We gave away a t-shirt last week.
Nice.
That makes 3 of them that are out there now.
All right.
Including the ones we got.
Yeah.
I still don't have one. I don't rate.
I do.
Okay. Shoot me your address. I'll send you one.
I got asked not to wear it at a place because it said don't let a slider bust your ass. Somebody was offended by it.
Oh, do you need one that will put asterisks over the it says don't let a slider?
No, hell no.
Okay.
I told the person, I was like, go change your tampon.
Good.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
See you guys.